stars have died. No light remains, just frozen sky. The echoes of the ones I lost still haunt my name. They bear the cost.
This is my first time in Philadelphia.
Good morning.
It is a little weird seeing a 7-Eleven with no gas station attached to it. It's a little strange. There's a lot of electric bicycles out here. That's cool. I thought about it, but it's my first time here, so I'd rather just walk. I feel like I can get to know the city more if I walk around instead of riding.
Get the whole Philadelphia experience. The old school way, with my 2 feet.
I've been to Pennsylvania a couple of times, but this feels different. Philadelphia does. I like it. Crosswalk works perfectly. Beautiful artwork.
I'm gonna leave you guys with the sound of the city, but I'll be back.
It is still early here, so the city's not really alive yet, but it feels very nice. The weather is perfect. Not many people out here yet.
Beautiful city so far. I heard all these horrible things about Philadelphia. I know I've only been here for a little bit, but what I've seen so far, really great feel. Love it. I am getting hungry. I can feel it. So I'm gonna make me a stop for some breakfast real soon. Might get me a pretzel. This is a random spot. I looked them up. They're famous for making fresh pretzels right off the conveyor belt, so I'm gonna give them a try. It looked really good on the pictures I saw. You can see the machine in the back. It makes fresh pretzels all day long. Look how fluffy they look. I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast. Leave you guys with some music.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine, living life with the news and in my mind, all I hear is music. Watching your mouth move, damn you look stupid. I feel like everyone's a stranger. Small talk with your narcissistic neighbor. She's real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did and I hate her. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter, no filter.
I stumbled across this place called Angelo's. I heard about it. Everybody was telling me they're famous for a steak sandwich. The best in the city. Philly cheesesteak. So I'm gonna get me one. It's a giant line. I heard it's always like this.
Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, I know, see you later.
Come to any city, you gotta do the tour bus, people. Got to. I know it's cheesy and it's a tourist thing to do, but it's fun.
Paul Jones's face, some Elton John sunglasses in there, just to name a few of the memorabilia. We turn through the intersection here. I want everybody to picture George Washington getting a pie in the face. That is a very realistic historic possibility of something that might have happened here because the States in 1796 and President Washington was in attendance. I mentioned Reading Railroad ran those two-story train tracks throughout the whole city. They are no longer with us. We moved all our trains underground. And by all our trains, I mean the two of them. Unlike New York, we don't have a messy, complicated subway system. The Market Frankford line goes east to west and intersects the Broad Street line going north to south. Also on our left here, the building with the green windows here is the Wanamaker Building. That is the first department store opened in the United States. And down to our left, you'll be able to see St. John the Evangelist. That was Philadelphia's first cathedral. It was the seat of St. John Newman. And it's also the place where St. Catherine Drexel was baptized. And since we have two saints that are based out of our city, that makes us the city with the most amount of saints in the United States. But looming ahead of us here is City Hall, the largest stonemason structure in the world. It took the sculptor Alexander Calder over 25 years to do all 250 individual statues on our City Hall. Each side of the building is themed after the original function of that side of the building, and there's a different continental theme for the central window. So up at the top there are 4 Asian figures and an Asian elephant that face out towards the east. This side of the building is themed after Philadelphia's arts and industry history. That's because this is where you would get permits when City Hall first opened. There's also a different figurehead over each archway, and on this side we have got none other than the one, the only Benjamin Franklin. Also on our left here we have John Wanamaker. Wanamaker was a Freemason. Many of our founding fathers were Freemasons, including but not limited to George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. You'll see exchanging their Masonic robes outside of the Masonic Temple. There's a lot of statues around the north side of City Hall, so bear with me because I'm about to go through them all. First gentleman you see here is John Bullitt, who was a Philadelphia lawyer who redrafted our state constitution in the 1870s. This is John Reynolds, who was killed in action on the first day of Gettysburg. He's remembered as a hero, unlike General George McCullough, who was fired twice during the Civil War, then tried to run for president against Abraham Lincoln. That is Matthias Baldwin, one of the founders of the Franklin Institute. Speaking of Franklin, there he is, working hard in his printing press over there. This side of the building is themed after Philadelphia's government and civic history. It's where the mayor's office and city council met. There are 4 European figures and a bull that face out to the north, and over the archway is William Penn. Last but not least, back there is Government of the People. Allegedly, that is a mother and a father and a baby, who in turn is holding up a young couple, who in turn is holding up the city banner. The key word there is allegedly. I don't think it looks like any of that. I think it looks more like the aftermath of a bad cheesesteak. But we are coming around Love Park. For my fellow dyslexics on board, you'll be able to read it nice and clear from this side. Love Park. JFK Plaza, actually, is the technical name of the park. But the love statue is all the way back there. Squint if you can't see it because it's much smaller than you think. It's only 6 by 6 because it looks bigger in photographs because people take it from an angle on the ground. And if you do want to get your photo taken with the love statue, I do need to tell you that there is no official employee at Love Park to do that. That is a homeless man just trying to take your phone, camera, and money. We're now on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Usually the parkway is lined with flags representing all the different nationalities here in Philadelphia. They can be found in alphabetical order aside from the Israeli flag, which is usually the first one here. I say usually because they took all the flags down and replaced them. They put up new flags and then they took the new ones down, leaving me terribly confused. But the Israeli flag is out front of the first Holocaust memorial in the country, the Weizmann Plaza on our left. You'll also find the Polish flag out of order and the flag of Vatican City and the Italian flag out of order. The Polish flag coming up on our right is across the street from Tadeusz Kościuszko's statue, which is on our left. Kościuszko was a Revolutionary War engineer who fortified New York and built the West Point fortifications. After the war, he went back home to Poland where he had a revolution of his own, and that failed miserably. And he was exiled and had to move back to Philadelphia, but more on him later. But the Italian flag and the Vatican City flag are next to the Cathedral Basilica of St. Peter and Paul on our right. This is the headquarters of the Catholic Church here in Philadelphia. Archbishop Nelson Perez presiding. We've had not one, not two, but 3 popes come visit us here. St. John Paul II was here in the 1980s. That's when they put up that window you see on the ground floor. More recently, Pope Francis was here in 2015. There's a statue in the park across the street that says Amor, which was also taken down. And Pope Leo XIV, the current head of the Catholic Church, has made his way to a Mass or two at this cathedral. He is a graduate of Philadelphia's very own Villanova University. Let's go Cats. Ahead of us here is Logan Square. Logan Square is a cool place to hang now, but you wouldn't want to hear that you're going to hang there back in the day because it was the old town gallows. The figures in the fountain there represent the Wissahickon, Delaware, and Schuylkill rivers. They were done by Alexander Calder. Not the same Alexander Calder from City Hall, but the son of that Alexander Calder. On our right, we have Galusha Pennypacker's Memorial. He was the youngest general to be promoted during the Civil War. They gave him his promotion at 19 years old because they thought he was mortally wounded and about to die, which he did not. And the Union Army just had to answer to a 19-year-old for the rest of the war. On our right, you'll see the Shakespeare Memorial, also done by Alexander Calder. William Shakespeare was famously born right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No, not in the slightest. But we did put the Shakespeare Memorial outside of the Free Library of Philadelphia, and the library was born right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. However, the library's father, Benjamin Franklin, did not have a free library in mind. He had a subscription-based library in mind. He's not one known for leaving a dime on the table if it's there. We are around some of the oldest war memorials in our city. So you'll see in the park to our left is our Colored Soldiers Memorial that was put up during the First World War. Also, after the First World War, we put up the first downed aviators memorial in the country. It's a little hard to see through the trees, but it's the Golden Globe. I say downed aviators and not Air Force because the U.S. Air Force was not established until after the Second World War. They were parts of the Army and Navy respectively. But the obelisks that you see ahead of us are our Civil War memorials. The one to our left is for our Civil War sailors, and the one to our right is for our Civil War soldiers. On our right here, though, you will see the Barnes Foundation. Barnes Foundation is a collection of impressionist artwork that was collected over the lifetime of Dr. Albert Barnes. Every day, Dr. Barnes would rearrange all the paintings in his house in no particular order, but just the way that he wanted them on that day. He put it in his will that he never wants the paintings taken out of his house or rearranged from the way they were hung on the day he died. So he was unexpectedly killed in a car crash in 1955. Of course, the city of Philadelphia did everything it could to take all the paintings out of his house, rearrange them, and stick them in that museum right there. But it's a good thing they did because his house was destroyed in a flood a few years back and all that priceless art would have been lost. Including over 120 Renoirs, 60 Cezannes, 40 Gauguins, and 8 Van Goghs. Currently, they have a display about Henri Trousseau's work. Trousseau is a French artist famous for painting scenes of the jungle, even though he never left France once. Speaking of French artists, we have the Rodin Museum to our right. This is the largest collection of Auguste Rodin's work outside of France. Of course, seated up front would be his most famous statue, the Thinker, contemplating why he didn't grab an extra roll of toilet paper when he felt that stinker. Behind him would be the appropriately named statue, the Gates of Hell, which, inappropriately, wedding couples always like to get their photos taken in front of. The art in there is actually so priceless that we can't decide how much we want to charge you to see it. It's one of our many pay-what-you-wish museums that we have in Philadelphia. You see everything in there for as little as a penny and as much as $1 million. Coming up on our left, we have Von Collin Memorial Field. I always like to point that out. We have a rich history of baseball here in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Phillies have the oldest used one team, one city, one team name in sports history. That is Philadelphia Phillies. But another record that the Phillies have that we are working desperately to erase is the most amount of games lost in sports history. Little League Baseball was also started by a Philadelphian up in Williamsport, where they have the Little League World Series. I myself was on a number of really good Little League teams when I was a kid, but we never made it up to Williamsport because, unfortunately, every ninth batter was me, and that's a guaranteed strikeout. To our left, though, you'll see Parkway House. Parkway House is the first building designed by a female architect in Pennsylvania. Her name is Elizabeth Hirsch Fleischer. She gave the building a funky shape like this because she wanted all the windows to get an equal amount of sunlight throughout the day. And it worked out perfectly until they stuck a Whole Foods next to it and ruined it for 1/3 of the building. You're in the Fairmount section of the city now. Fairmount wasn't originally part of the city plan, but it was a wooded area outside of the city that William Penn liked to ride his horse around, and he called a Fairmount. Another neighborhood that I like to point out is in the far northeast section of our city called Frankfort. That was the original home of the Philadelphia Eagles. Their first name was the Frankfort Yellow Jackets, but they moved close to the city proper in the 1930s and changed their name to the Eagles based on a Works Progress Administration poster hanging around the city at the time that was popular with the people building the new stadium, and it had a big green eagle on it. It's a good thing they changed their name from the Frankfort Yellow Jackets to the Eagles, because if I had to spell out FRANKFORDYOGCETS every time my team scores a touchdown, that's a bit of a mouthful. EAGLES, Eagles works a lot better. Just making sure we're all awake downstairs. Philadelphia Flyers are playing their first playoff hockey game in a very long time. I am very excited for tonight. But I also tell you how they got their name. It was a competition held in 1967 when Ed Schneider brought hockey back to the city of Philadelphia. Everybody in the city could submit what they thought would be a good name for the new hockey team. Everybody entered their submissions, and Schneider ignored all these, choosing his sister's entry, Flyers, because his wife said that sounds cool. Moral of the story, the women in your family are always correct. On our left, I see dead people. Not really, but I do see a building that was used in The Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan constantly films in Philadelphia. We cannot get him to stop. He's a little bit of a nuisance. But I myself was just featured in one of his more recent films called Trap. I played the illustrious role of man waiting in line at a concession stand. Thank you. I was there for the filming all day and found out my scene was cut when I watched the entire movie. I'm not an M. Night Shyamalan fan. I do not like things that give me the heebie-jeebies. Hence, I have never been to this place up here, Eastern State Penitentiary. We have anybody going to jail today? All right, I will take that as a no, and I'm feeling much more safe on board. Eastern State Penitentiary, though, is the first penitentiary of its kind. Back in the day, jails were giant open pens where all of the bad people would be held in one place at one time. If you guys know anything about disease, and back in the day, you'll know that it spread constantly and rampantly, especially in a closed-quarter situation like a prison. So when yellow fever ripped through Philadelphia in the 1790s, killing about 10% of the city's total population, it especially hit the Walnut Street prison hard. So to combat the spread of disease, Pennsylvanians came up with a new prison model where you would put one man in one cell with one skylight, one Bible, and 23.5 hours a day of uninterrupted silence and solitude. The idea was if you could only read the Bible by yourself for your entire prison stay, you would come out being a perfectly moral, upstanding member of society. That's not what happened. Instead, everybody went insane. There's over 1,000 recorded deaths at Eastern State Penitentiary. The Prison Death Reporting Act in Pennsylvania was not passed until 2022, so there are definitely much more people that have passed in that building, and it's considered to be one of the most haunted places in the United States to this day. Every Halloween, we turn it into a haunted house called Terror Behind the Walls, considered to be the scariest one on the East Coast. But again, I cannot attest to that. I've never been. I do not pay to get scared. I just live here. I should also mention that Eastern State was not founded by Benjamin Franklin. Shocker, shocker. However, the Pennsylvania prison model that Eastern State was based around was hatched in a meeting that was held at Benjamin Franklin's house that he was a part of, so he does have a hand in every pie here in our city. Everybody needs to duck. I'm not kidding. Duck. Duck. I would watch that phone. Watch that phone. Thank you. That's called the Marie Antoinette wire. On our right, though, is the Perlman Building. Perlman Building is where all the restoration work for the Art Museum's exhibit happens. The Art Museum itself opens up into a lovely sculpture garden that goes all the way down the Schuylkill River. I said opens up, as in that's the front. Common misconception, the rocky steps are on the back. You can see a fountain right back there. It's called the Free Seahorse Fountain, and it was a gift from the leader of the Italian government in the late 1930s. For those of you who know your World War II history, I will repeat that. The leader of the Italian government. Yes, question? The next stop. Thank you for pointing it out. Just a reminder, let me know before we get to that stop, not as we are passing by, and certainly not as we have just passed by. Good work. But on our right, we have St. Joan of Arc. St. Joan of Arc was famously born right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Are we live?
Yeah.
The most famous steps in Philadelphia. The Rocky Steps. The line is crazy to get a picture here. Crazy. I already waited in one line for a Philly cheesesteak. I'm gonna pass on this one. steps are not that hard to climb. I thought they would be. It's a lot of steps here. The way they design these steps is really simple. It almost feels like you're walking, like flat. It wasn't bad like I thought it was going to be. It was actually easy. Gonna go see the Liberty Bell for the first time ever. The line to go see the Liberty Bell inside, it's insane just to see the crack, but I was told that they have a place you can peek through and see it through a window, so I'm gonna check that out instead of waiting in another line. Shout out to the Philly captain. He's the one that showed me the short trip to go see the Liberty Bell instead of waiting an hour. Thank you, buddy. What I've seen so far, I wouldn't mind to come back for like at least a month next time. I'll probably stay 30 days to get the whole feel, but just for 11 hours, not bad. I've seen a lot in 11 hours. This city is growing on me. I'm not big in cities. I usually live in the country area. There's the Taco Bell. Doing. What I found out about the bell, the Liberty Bell, the Philly captain told me that they put the crack in the bell because it didn't sound right. It sounded like boing, like it did not have that feel they want. It's too expensive to build another one, so they put a crack in it and it fixed it. I thought that was cool. And I found a better view. This window it's a line here, but so much smaller than the other one. This might have been like a 5-minute wait. You won't be able to see the crack, but this is what the Philly captain was telling me about, the little peak window. Not bad. I don't know if you can read that, it's really small. It just says Liberty Bell, blah 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 blah. But there it is. Awesome. It was worth the 5 minutes. I believe this is Benjamin Franklin's house. What's left of it, it's mostly remains of the old foundation. Still cool to look at it. Pretty nice. I found me a bench to sit on. Nice area to walk around here. Seemed really safe out here. Everybody's having a good time. I'm in the biggest Chinatown in the US, in Philadelphia. This place is amazing. One sexy roasted duck in that window. Sure looks good. This is the end of my video. See you guys next time.